Why dividend growth investing matters. Let's start with why dividend growth investing is so powerful. Unlike high-yield dividend stocks that might pay big dividends today but offer little growth, dividend growth stocks focus on companies that consistently increase their payouts. This steady increase protects your purchasing power from inflation, signals strong financial health from companies, combines income and capital appreciation for compounded growth over time. Over the years, studies have shown that companies with a track record of growing dividends outperform the broader market. By investing in dividend growth ETFs, you get the best of both worlds, diversification and a hands-off way to access these high-quality companies. Top dividend growth ETFs for 2021. Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF (VIG). VIG is one of the most popular ETFs in the dividend growth space. It focuses on companies with at least 10 years of increasing dividends, making it a solid choice for stability and growth. With an ultra-low expense ratio of 0.06% and holdings like Microsoft, Visa, and Johnson & Johnson, it's a cornerstone for any dividend growth portfolio. iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF (DGRO). DGRO takes a slightly broader approach, targeting companies with sustainable dividend growth and strong payout ratios. This ETF balances growth and yield, offering exposure to names like Apple, Procter & Gamble, and Pfizer. At 0.08%, the expense ratio is competitive, making it ideal for long-term investors. Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF (SCHD). SCHD stands out for its higher dividend yield and focus on financial strength. It includes companies with at least 10 consecutive years of paying dividends, emphasizing metrics like cash flow and return on equity. Top holdings include PepsiCo, Verizon, and Home Depot. With an expense ratio of 0.06% and a yield often exceeding 3%, it's a top choice for income-seeking investors. SPDR S&P Dividend ETF (SDY). SDY tracks the S&P High-Yield Dividend Aristocrats, which includes companies with at least 20 years of consecutive dividend increases. Its focus on established, cash-rich companies like ExxonMobil, AT&T, and 3M makes it a great option for those seeking reliability. The expense ratio is 0.35%, which is higher than some peers, but you're paying for quality. ProShares S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrats ETF (NOBL). If you want to zero in on the creme de la creme of dividend stocks, NOBL is your ETF. It holds companies that have increased dividends for 25+ years, known as dividend aristocrats. With names like Coca-Cola, Chevron, and McDonald's, it's perfect for investors looking for high-quality blue chips. The expense ratio is 0.35%, but the focus on reliability is worth it. WisdomTree U.S. Quality Dividend Growth ETF (DGRW). DGRW combines dividend growth with earnings growth potential, targeting companies with strong return on equity and profitability metrics. A unique blend of stability and upside potential, holding names like Nvidia, Johnson & Johnson, and Amgen. Its expense ratio of 0.28% is higher, but its strategic approach makes it stand out. First Trust Rising Dividend Achievers ETF (RDVY). RDVY takes a more growth-oriented approach, focusing on companies expected to increase dividends but without requiring long payout histories. This allows it to capture younger, faster-growing companies. With an expense ratio of 0.50%, it's pricier, but its growth focus makes it attractive to younger investors. SPDR Portfolio S&P 500 High Dividend ETF (SPYD). For investors seeking high yield alongside growth, SPYD is worth a look. It targets high-yielding stocks within the S&P 500, offering a blend of income and moderate growth potential. Its expense ratio is a very low 0.07%, making it accessible for all types of investors. Vesco S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility ETF (SPHD). SPHD combines two investor favorites, high dividends and low volatility. It targets the 50 highest yielding stocks in the S&P 500 but screens for lower volatility, offering a smoother ride during market downturns. The expense ratio is 0.30%, but the defensive nature of this ETF makes it a popular choice. Global X Super Dividend US ETF (DIV). DIV is a high-yield option for those who prioritize income over growth. It targets the top 50 highest dividend-paying stocks in the U.S. While it has a higher expense ratio at 0.45%, its strong yield may appeal to retirees or income-focused investors.